Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ire and welcome to Tech with Ire. So what are we going to be doing here with Tech with Ire? Tech with Ire is a short blog for updates of data science. You guess right. We're going to be doing a whole lot on data science. We're going to be doing a whole lot on data science, and we're going to be using Python to do that. We're going to be doing that with what? Python. So without much further ado, let's just get started with Python. This is the very first video, so don't bother thinking I have missed a lot. No, we are getting started this very moment. So sit down, relax yourself while we're going through the basics of Python. So as you can see on my screen, my Jupyter notebook, we have some Python codes written down there, so we'll be running through the code and I will be explaining. I started by saying that A is equal to 10. What is A? What is 10? A is actually a variable, and 10 is the value assigned to a variable. Some might be saying, what is variable? What is value assigned to a variable? So basically, let's look at a variable as a container in our kitchen that we use to store our spice, our ingredients, seasoning cube, salt, chili, pepper, whatever, any container we use to store whatever, maybe a candy box or something, just a container that holds the contents. That is a variable. It's that simple. So A is more like a container we use to store our seasoning cubes, for instance. So if A is a variable, that's if A is the container that stores our seasoning cube, definitely 10 will be the seasoning cube. So that is just it. A is equal to 10. We created a variable and assigned a value to that. So if I hit Shift and Enter to run this code, voila, you see we have line 1, meaning that the code has worked successfully run. So now, remember we said container and content. A is the container, 10 is the content. Now, what is the content? What type of content is A holding? That is when we are talking about data type. So what is a data type in programming? A data type is more like the content our container is holding. The content inside our container. So we created this container, we added some context into the container. What did we add into A? We added a variable of the data type int. A is an integer. Why is A an integer? Because we added 10. An integer basically is any number without a fraction or decimal. Simply put, a whole number. Every whole numbers are integers. Every whole numbers are integers. So A is of the data type int. You see, guys, we are making progress. So the next line, we have int A equal 10. Now in Python, we don't explicitly tell Python that see what we are doing. Hey guy, we are creating a variable and we're going to assign an integer to it. Python by default understands that a 10 is an integer, 10 point this is a float, this is a string, that is this, that is. We don't explicitly tell Python that this is what we are doing. So if we run this code, Shift and Enter, it returns an error. Why is it giving us an error? Hey guy, Python is like, hey guy, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're saying. Speak simple English. It's that simple. So Python does not understand what you're doing. Yeah, this will work in some other programming languages, but not in Python. So we created a variable. Let's see if we can check what we created, what is inside our variable. So we have print A because we created A earlier. So if we run this, voila, we got an error. Python is like, name error. Name A is not defined. We're like, hey bro, what are you doing, man? I don't know what is A. I don't know what is A. Can you tell me what A is? That is what Python is telling us, guys. Python is saying, I don't know what A is. So what do? We have to pass A properly. Now we created A with an uppercase, but we are calling A, or we are printing A with a lowercase. Printing A with a lowercase when A was created with an uppercase will return an error. So let's print A properly because we use an uppercase. So if we hit Shift Enter, voila, 10 appears. 10 appears. Remember guys, A is the variable we created earlier, our very first variable. So let's move on. Again, let's hit Shift and Enter. We get another error. Python does not know what B is because we've not created a B. So if we say, since Python is giving us an error because we want to call B, let's just create B instantly. So when we create B, we run this. We've created another variable, but this time around, this variable is not an integer. This variable is a string. Now, what is a string? A string is a data type that's a string is the kind of data type that usually store text, not really text. You can also store numbers as strings. You can also store numbers as strings, but basically string comes in a quote. So whatever you have inside a quote, either a number, either an integer, or letters, alphabet, whatever you have, as long as they are in quote, either single or double quotes, it is a string. So we have text with ire, we have text with ire inside quotes. Inside a quote, text is ire is inside a quote, and that is how we created this string called text with ire. So here is another string. We say f equal John. Now this string was created using a single quote. So if we run this, we have another variable. Again, strings can be created using three pairs of double quotes. So you can see we have this and this is one pair, this and this is another pair, this and this is another pair. So we have three pairs of double quotes. We can create strings using three pairs of double quotes. So it gives us the flexibility of writing whatever we want across multiple lines. So if we hit shift and enter, we will get an error. We'll print C. Now we have successfully written our codes, written a string that spans across multiple lines. So if we just want it to look beautiful, maybe for proper formatting, we'll talk about that much more later. Creating a \n, the output will look more better, but as we move on, we'll talk about that. Now, the B we created earlier, if we take a look at it, you can see we have what? Text with ire. Okay, so here is a structure, a control structure that looks, a collection. If you run this is called a list in Python. We'll have a special video where we'll talk everything about list. But list can hold anything. List can hold a float, it can hold a string, it can hold an integer. So list is a collection that can carry different kind of data type in it. So let's run this. Voila, we got our list. You can see we have an integer, we have a string, integer, string, and this is a float. Oops, sorry guys, we didn't say anything about a float. So let's just create one. Let's say d is equal to 3.7. If I hit shift and enter, and I hit shift and enter, and I call on d. Sorry, let me bring this down, and I hit shift and enter. Now d returns 3.7. D is what? A float. Why is D a float? D is a float because it has what? A decimal. It has a whole number and a decimal. So D is a fraction, 3.7 is a float. Okay guys, so let's check the type of all the data types we've created thus far. So remember we started by creating A, we hit shift and enter. It is telling us that A is an integer. The A we created earlier, we said A was equal to 10, making it what? An integer. A was equal, assigned 10 to A, so meaning that A is of the data type int, which is what? An integer. So guys, A is actually an integer. Now let's move on. We have another, okay, I think it's similar. I is equal to 10, type I is going to give us int because I is what? An integer. Remember, this guy is going to give us an error because we didn't create anything called B, uppercase B rather. So we'll get what? Name error. We're also going to get a name error. Now this will give us the output of B. B is what? A string, because when we created B, we said B was equal to text with ire. Okay, moving on, let's check the data type of C. C is a list. Now we can say ire is equal to C, and then we check what ire is. So remember we created C as a list. Now we are saying ire is equal to C. Aha. So ire is equal to C. When we print ire, we are getting what? The list, because we've assigned everything that belongs to C to ire, so they are now what? Equal. We can also check the length of our list by saying length list. Length C or length ire will tell us because ire and C at this moment are the same thing, so they will actually tell us it's going to give us the length of ire. So length C is telling us the length of the list, or the length of ire, or the length of C. So meaning that we have 6 items we count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 items on our list. Okay, so let's go down. If I hit shift and enter, this will bring the very first item from our list. Now we are indexing from behind. We are indexing it there from behind. What does it mean? It means the -1 is telling us the very last item from the list. So what we have as the very last item of our list, bring it to us, and it returned what? Minus what? 3.7, because that is what we have at the last of our list. Now if we run this, this erase 0 is telling us, show me or tell me what is at the beginning of my list. What is at the beginning of my list? Definitely it is 1. So if we hit shift and enter, we are going to get 1, because 1 is the very first item we have in our list. Now in list indexing, Python list indexing starts from 0. So from the very beginning, we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we want to access the very first element, the name of our list, then we'll pass the number or the index in a square bracket. So since we want to access the very first item, we're going to use array or C in square bracket 1, or in square bracket 0, we are going to get 1. If we pass, let's say we edit this to 2. Come on guys, tell me what you're going to get. You guessed right guys, you guessed right. We're going to get R. Now doing this is going to give us R, because R is actually the third item on the list, but we are going, because Python indexing starts from 0, we are going to get 3 minus 1, which is 2. That's what we're going to use to index it. So let's move on. Now I said array minus 1 is equal to Nkweke. What am I doing? I'm trying to replace what we have at the end of my list to Nkweke. So guys, Nkweke is my son, so I'm more like array Nkweke. So when we do this and we check on our list again, we see that 3.7 has been replaced by my son, so we have array Nkweke. So if we do this, we created a variable. We created 2 variables, and we assigned 2 variables. When we get to tuples, we'll talk more of this. But for now, just now, we created 2 variables, and we assigned 2 values to this variable. So let's check what x is. X is 1, y is 2. X is 1, y is 2. Now we are switching position. We are not saying x comma y is equal to y comma x. When we run this, now let's print and see what we get. Okay, so when we created x initially, x was 1, but now the value of x is 2, and then y was 2, but now the value of y is 1. We can create multiple variables and assign 1 values to them. So we said x is equal to y and is equal to z. So when we run this and we print this, we are going to get 100, 100, 100. Now we printed x to be 100, we printed y to be 100, and we printed z to be 100. So guys, thank you for watching. We've come to the end of today's video. So I really appreciate you guys for your time. Thank you so much guys for watching. We'll be dropping another video shortly. Of course, a continuation of this. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. So please guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. And do like our channels, follow us for more videos. Do like our videos, subscribe to our channels. Do like our videos and subscribe guys. Like, subscribe and share. So like the video, subscribe to the channel and share the video. Thank you guys. See you in our next videos.